Hi, welcome to Mama's Natural. I'm your host, Rusty Red. Just finally got the kids to bed. It was a little bit rough. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned how my husband has some new orders that he's on, which means a really big shift in schedule that we're used to for me and the kids. Usually my husband goes to work in the morning, like typical job, and is home in the evening for supper, and then helps me with putting the kids to bed. But with his new temporary orders that he's on, he's having to work a little bit later in the day, which means that he's missing a nighttime routine. So that means I get to handle the nighttime routine alone, which is not something the kids or I am used to doing. So that's been a little bit of an adjustment. It's been a couple of days in so far, and it's gone okay. The hardest part is when the kids both need me at the exact same time. But fortunately, our son is old enough now that he's able to kind of take instruction and listen and understand. So I'm able to talk to him through the baby monitor in his room and explain to him what's going on every step of the way. If he's feeling scared, he knows to call out to me through the baby monitor, and that I will respond at least in some fashion. And it makes it a little bit easier with the baby because she can fall asleep to me softly talking into the monitor. So it allows me to kind of be there for both my kids. It's been an adjustment. It's a lot of him whimpering and crying in his room, but he is also an incredibly good boy and wanting to be independent as well. So I've been able to choose words to help him feel brave and confident. And with my son, his big thing is he's had a lot of fear things over the past, pretty much since Daddy went away to boot camp. When he first went away to boot camp, that kind of threw Asher into a bit of a fear period that he's not really come out of very easily. Which I understand that children of military homes, they can struggle with some fear issues a bit there because they're safe and steady caregiver, whether it be the daddy or the mommy, leaving and then back and then leaving and then back. It can be complicated for them at first to understand. But I always do, because of his fear thing, what we've done is we've made prayer hands on his wall. And it says, "When I'm afraid, I pray." So we've developed that little pattern of every time he says he's afraid, I remind him of his little phrase that he's to remember. And whenever he says that he's scared over the monitor, I tell him, remember, when you're afraid, you pray. So, and then I'll usually say a prayer with him and asking for God's help for him to be brave and strong and courageous through the night. And so far, that's actually been helping him quite a bit because with our religious background, we've been teaching him that he's never alone. God is always here with him. And it's been kind of setting a preface for him not feeling so alone when he's scared and I can't always be there for him. So with that all said, both the kids are currently asleep. Asher finally fell asleep just about the time Gabby did. I did go in and check on him like I promised. That is important. Even if you think your child has fallen asleep and you've told them you would come back, you need to absolutely come back. Just in case they are still semi-awake and aware, you don't want your child thinking that you're not going to do what you said you're going to do. So I am working on a few dishes, trying to get a few things done that I wasn't able to do earlier today because it was an absolute chaos. With this being only the second day, my son has not had a chance to really adjust to the change that's now come his way. And as I mentioned in the previous video, he does have very mild, high-functioning autism, and so change is a big deal for him. So today's been a very rough day, a lot of meltdowns, a lot of stress on my part. So I am also, in addition to doing dishes, I am kind of finishing my evening off with an herbal stress away tea. It's a lavender stress release tea. I always like to go for the herbal teas just because they're a little bit more natural and healthier for you. That one tastes really good. And I've also finished off the day with a little bit of Calm and Restore and Release essential oils to just kind of help me release all the tension and emotions from today. It's been hard keeping my patience. Asher Because of his unique needs, he does try my patience a little bit more than Gabby does, even for when he was her age. And so I really have to put my patience hat on with him extra. And I love that little boy. He's such a good boy. He tries so hard to be the best little boy he can, so I try to give him every benefit that I can. But there were some points today where we had to kind of have some little sit-downs and chats, because he's just recently developed this fun little habit of being highly disrespectful, and when I tell him not to do something, he will shout back at me, no, and he's started really sass-mouthing a lot, so I'm kind of tampering with how I'm going to deal with that, just because timeouts, they kind of work, but they kind of don't in this case, because he just leads to him sass-mouthing even more, so we're feeling our way through it. This is he's our first child, so everything is a total experiment with him. And you just try what you can. Remember, every child is very different, and every child sometimes needs a different parenting technique. I might not have to use half the stuff I've used on Asher with Gabby, because she's going to be totally different. Just like my parents with me, I was the hellion in my family. My brother was very easygoing, follow all the rules. In fact, he used to use me to find out if he would get in trouble for something. He admitted to that later on, that he would get me to do something if he wasn't sure if we'd get in trouble for it. And then if I got in trouble, he knew not to do it. But in general, he was always the easygoing, follow the rules type, and I was kind of a bit of a challenge. I do have a possible diagnosis of high-functioning autism myself, so it does kind of run in the family a little bit. And so that would also be some of the challenges that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, besides what my kids bring to the table. So with that said, finally I get to take a few minutes for myself, and even though I am absolutely exhausted, it is very important that you take just a few minutes to relax and fulfill your greatest need for the evening. Today, my biggest struggle was trying to get something done around this house. So what's most relaxing for me tonight is getting a couple of chores done. No, I'm not sitting on the couch enjoying a book I'd like to be reading or anything, but I'm doing the thing that tonight is bringing me the most fulfilled feeling, so that I can go to sleep feeling like I've accomplished something, and then tomorrow I can wake up and look at my house and say, okay, I did get something done yesterday. And some days I don't get anything done, and I instead decide to just sit down and read a book. It's whatever you feel that evening is going to bring you the most fulfillment. And it's important for you to stay in tune with yourself and listen to what your body and your mind is trying to tell you that it needs on any given day, because that is the most important thing. You can have a list and look at it and try to do it all day long, but if you're not fulfilling your innermost needs, you're going to struggle. You're going to go to bed stressed, wake up even more stressed, and then when the children wake up, you're going to be even more stressed, and it just snowballs. So tonight, relax, do what you think needs to happen to make you feel the most fulfilled and relaxed and stress-free for the evening. Don't forget to get yourself a nice cup of relaxing, stress-free tea, take a bath with some candles, whatever you need. Like, subscribe, and in the comments below, share with me, after your kids go to bed, what is the most relaxing thing for you on any given day? We'll see you in the next video. Bye.